The Shadows of London, Origins of Chaos. In the damp gloom of 1961 London, where fog and flickering gaslights set the stage for the unspoken, a silent figure emerges. The night is filled with secrets and the weight of betrayal. The underworld awakens in the labyrinth of tight alleys and desolate backstreets, promising violence, a promise that will kick off a chain of events that will break the city's delicate order. It all starts with a single, untraceable directive, a whispered order from Harold Cartwright, a merciless criminal boss whose steely eyes mirror the rough steel of his ambition. With his voice crackling over a worn payphone, Harold directs an agent, one of 8 nameless beings, to start a gang war. The mission is simple yet sinister. Enter enemy hideouts, plant bombs in their caves, and watch as havoc spreads. Under the persistent drizzle and the eerie glow of London's underbelly, our protagonist emerges from a wrecked vehicle. Every footfall echoes in the calm darkness, each heartbeat hammering like a time bomb. The city appears to be alive, with ancient stones absorbing every rumor around us. As the agent approaches the first hideout, a dilapidated building hidden in shadow, the distant sound of motors and muffled voices blend with the rain, foreshadowing the approaching confrontation of titanic criminal forces. The mission unfolds like a hip-hop ballet. The protagonist places explosives at strategic areas with desperation and precision. When the detonations pierce the darkness, opposing gang territory erupt into deadly clashes. In that moment of ferocious rage, London transforms from a city of stoic tradition to a battlefield of shattered alliances and bloodshed. However, the night is far from over. The radio, a lifeline of cryptic directives, crackles to life with the unsettling announcement: your cover has been blown. The voice is both calm and menacing, directing the agent to meet with Jack, a shadowy figure whose own loyalties are as hazy as London fog. As the spy puts on an armored vest, a palpable reminder that every step could be his last, the city's dark corners appear
Make
to
it
close
easy
in,
on yourself,
whispering
run
of
away.
betrayal and impending vengeance. Each explosive moment adds to the increasing dread. When a rival gang boss appears in a tiny alleyway, the resulting gunfight is more than simply a battle for territory. It's a desperate attempt to survive in the midst of an ever-escalating turf war. Bullets become the punctuation of a mounting tragedy, with each shot sounding like a death knell through the desolate streets. Every act of violence is documented by the unwavering eyes of a city that has seen too much. In one especially tense scene, the protagonist is charged with rescuing an infamous gambler known only as Mr. Cock and Balls. Abduction, treachery, and a frenzied chase through rain-slicked streets expose the spy to a rival gang's ruthless schemes. Under the suffocating skies, every decision, every burst of gunfire, every well-planned maneuver drives the spy deeper into a world where morality is sacrificed for the sake of power. Amidst the tumult, a covert recording of discussions surfaces, revealing the hidden intrigues of people in power. The revelation is as frightening as it is unavoidable. Once unbreakable relationships are nothing more than frail structures, doomed to fail beneath the weight of greed and revenge. With each life snuffed out by a well-aimed gunshot or a detonating charge, the city's underbelly reverberates with the raw energy of betrayal and bloodshed.
You calling me
As
a
dawn
mark?
approaches and the rain begins to ease, the aftermath of the night's bloodshed leaves London scarred.
Fuck with me, huh?
The agent, now a reluctant tool of chaos, is left to consider the consequences of each order carried out in the
You really want to fight me?
the darkness that is both unleashed and unexplained, and still spreading far beyond the city's walls. This is just the beginning. In San Andreas. Abrupt, searing shift shatters London's dreary gloom and propels the story into the sun-soaked yet sleazy streets of Vice City, a neon city where fantasies are as hazardous as they are bright. Under the dazzle of lavish advertisements and the constant hum of nightlife, the actual nature of ambition emerges in the shape of unending betrayal, deadly gang fights, and an insatiable hunger for power. The protagonist, no longer a mute, nameless agent from London, discovers a new purpose in the mayhem of Vice City. The plot turns into a maze of deceit and high-octane violence, led by the famed Chris twins, whose cool exterior hides their vicious intent. The agent is charged with the theft of a mod scooter in central Chelsea, with orders delivered via an equally cryptic radio, a seemingly small task that cascades into a spiraling sequence of events, each more perilous than the last. Every conversation the agent has as he navigates Vice City's glistening avenues and shadowy nooks is fraught with suspicion. Faces pass in and out of view, some promising momentary connections and others concealing the fatal gleam of betrayal. The underworld's heartbeat pulses in sync with the thudding bass of club music and the furious rev of engines on a hot tropical night. The city is full of secrets, and every neon-lit street has the potential for a lethal ambush. The agent's hunt quickly leads to a showdown with Chalky, a devious operative whose reckless behavior has jeopardized the delicate balance of power. In the claustrophobic maze of Soho, where decaying facades and flickering street lamps throw lengthy shadows, the agent must track down Chalky to recover a stockpile of stolen drugs, a stolen treasure that might spark a full-fledged turf war. The chase is fast-paced, with narrow escapes, close-quarters action, and moments of terrifying tension as the agent darts between covers, each second a brush with death. During these high-stakes interactions, Vice City shows its real duality. It's a place where the allure of money and power is intimately linked with the crushing weight of treachery. The Chris brothers, ever calculating, use every mission as a pawn in their complex game of empire building. Their orders get increasingly personal, pitting the agent against erstwhile allies and forcing him into a dangerous dance with fate. A pool party ambush devolves into a bloody free-for-all, and what started as a simple theft becomes an all-out struggle for domination. The plot switches once more in San Andreas' tumultuous heart. Here, the agent's identity changes as we meet Carl C.J. Johnson, a man whose fate is inextricably linked to Los Santos' deterioration and salvation. Born in the middle of urban degradation and formed in the embers of gang conflict, CJ's journey is a symphony of broken promises and brutal retribution. Every drive-by gunshot, every confrontation of competing clans, and every act of unwavering loyalty is depicted with a bleak intensity that makes the city appear to pulse with raw, unfiltered anger. Los Santos, with its huge urban jungle and severe social differences, serves as a crucible in which old friendships dissolve and new ones are forcefully formed. CJ's journey is strewn with ghosts from the past, including betrayals by close friends and the sour taste of family feuds. In a series of painstakingly staged confrontations, CJ waged a personal war against the powers that had long held his town captive. His effort is both a search for vengeance and a desperate attempt to regain the soul of Grove Street, a street whose name has come to represent both hope and pain. As the story progresses, each character becomes a study in the dichotomy of human ambition. The Chris brothers' cool calculating, Chalky's unpredictable madness, CJ's seething rage, and the haunted determination of those whose lives have been torn apart by the never-ending cycle of violence. All combined to form a tapestry as complicated as it is dark. Under the constant pressure of treachery and retaliation, the streets of Vice City and San Andreas become living battlegrounds, with every whispered secret, bullet fired, and moment of tension a witness to the criminal underworld's irresistible draw. In one particularly heartbreaking scene, relationships splinter after a daring heist, forcing the agent and CJ to confront their most loyal allies. The betrayal is fast and merciless, leaving behind a path of broken promises and ruined lives. In the aftermath, the agent is faced with a decision: seek vengeance or forge a new destiny amidst the carnage. The decision, weighed down by the memory of every life lost and hope violated, serves as a watershed moment in a journey that will forever alter the bounds of loyalty and ambition. The story in this section is meticulously detailed, with tension-filled conversation, suspenseful atmosphere, and vivid scenes. Part 3. The Genesis of a Criminal Empire, Liberty City, and the Eternal Underworld. Before the neon horrors of Vice City and the violent battlegrounds of San Andreas, before the rise and fall of innumerable gangsters, there was a raw beginning, a period when Liberty City was nothing more than a blank canvas for chaos and ambition. In 1997, a nameless protagonist was born into a world where every instruction came through a crackling payphone and every assignment was a step further into a whirlpool of crime and betrayal. Liberty City is not a gentle metropolis. It is a living, breathing monument to the notion that order is an illusion maintained solely by the threat of violence. From the first mission, recovering a car for an unknown contact, the spy is thrust into a world of brutal assignments. A taxi must be hijacked, a bank robbery properly carried out, and a message sent in blood. The city's convoluted streets, rundown neighborhoods, and crumbling safe houses all give testament to a fledgling criminal operation. Under the suffocating scrutiny of corrupt officials and omnipresent law enforcement, the protagonist forges an identity. Each mission is marked by moral ambiguity, a persistent examination of the fine boundary between heroism and villainy. In one heart-stopping scene, the spy is forced to take a getaway cab through a maze of hostile territory while a police station is destroyed in a blaze of explosive revenge. Every act of disobedience, every calculated risk, has a sense of tragic inevitability. However, when the city trembles under the weight of its own corruption, the story takes a dark turn. The agent discovers that the roots of this criminal empire were planted by a covert network, a group of shadowy characters whose identities are lost in the mist of time. From the murmurs of covert meetings and dimly lit backrooms to the explosive discoveries hidden in encrypted texts, Liberty City transforms into a battlefield of wits and wills that will define the very nature of power. In the midst of the chaos, the spy comes across a cast of characters that are both mysterious and dangerous. There's Bubby, a mafia boss whose placid authority hides a vicious inner core, Don Setti, the figurehead of a crime family whose reach reaches throughout the city, and many more whose allegiances shift like sand under the unrelenting strain of ambition. In a never-ending series of heists, ambushes, and covert operations, the agent must negotiate a perilous environment in where every friend could be a foe and every opponent could hold the key to ultimate power. Liberty City's story culminates in a crescendo of treachery and wrath. As the forces of order, both apparent and corrupt, close in with unwavering determination, the agent is pushed to the edge. A final fight erupts in a decrepit warehouse district, a struggle where gunfire and betrayal coexist, and the only law is the law of the jungle. In these final moments, the agent must confront not only the foes arrayed against him, but also the dark reflections of his own ambition, a mirror that reveals the cost of every life lost and partnership shattered. As the dust settles and the skyline of Liberty City burns with the flames of a fading era, the birth of a criminal empire is marked by murder and anguish. The agent, once a nameless spy, becomes a legend, a symbol of unrestrained chaos and a live reminder that in a society dominated by betrayal, power is the only coin that counts. Even as a fragile quiet descends on the ravaged city, the everlasting underworld maintains its unrelenting pulse, a guarantee that the cycle of violence and treachery will one day be repeated. In the hushed aftermath, as survivors gather among the rubble to narrate the night's horrors, a lone voice murmurs a final, terrifying message. The underworld's drama is eternal, and every empire, no matter how powerful, must finally tumble into forgotten history. This is the history of Liberty City, the birthplace of anarchy, and the foundation for all future chapters of the GTA mythos. The final section of the book expands the story to 20,000 words, detailing back-alley meetings, explosive confrontations, and internal conflicts. Epilogue, a whisper in the dark. As the final echoes of gunshot fade into the silent wreckage of fallen empires, the novel leaves us with one unanswered question. In a world where loyalty is transitory and the night conceals more than it exposes, who among us dares to grasp the reins of fate? The epic narrative of GTA is more than just a record of crimes committed or empires formed. It is an eternal reminder that beyond every gloomy alley and shattered dream lies the possibility of both disaster and redemption. In these three sections, we've seen the blood-soaked streets of London, the seedy neon labyrinths of Vice City and San Andreas, and the raw, unforgiving birth of a criminal empire in Liberty City. Each chapter, every whispered secret, and every explosive moment contribute to an eternal tapestry, a story that evolves with each new generation of individuals daring enough to venture into the abyss. The underworld is present in every dark and hidden corner of this epic saga. And as long as night falls and the city's pulse beats in time with the cries of the desperate, the evil voice of the criminal realm will continue to murmur its endless challenge. Step into the darkness and learn who you truly are. Title: GTA, Rise and Fall of a Criminal Empire. The city never sleeps. It breathes in the shadows and pulses through the veins of those who control its underworld. To the average person, the city is a skyline of possibilities. However, those who properly understand its mechanics see it as a battlefield, a place where only the ruthless survive. This is the story of a single man's ascent to power, his reign of terror, and the inevitable betrayal that followed. It begins in Liberty City, a crime-ridden metropolis. Vincent Kane, the protagonist, is a low-level enforcer for the Rossi crime family. His duty is straightforward: handle collections, intimidate those who refuse to pay, and, if necessary, ensure that certain problems are resolved. But Vincent is not content with being simply another soldier. He is ambitious, and in a city like Liberty, ambition is both a blessing and a curse. His first significant duty comes from Anthony Rossi, a guy who is dreaded throughout the city's boroughs. A shipment of contraband has gone missing at the docks, and Rossi is looking for answers. Vincent and his closest associate, Dario, are tasked with conducting an investigation. The docks are a tangle of shipping containers, the air heavy with salt and deception. Vincent moves with deliberate precision, interviewing workers and piecing together bits of the truth. The duplicity is quickly revealed. A rival syndicate seized the shipment with the intention of sending a message to Rossi. Without hesitation, Vincent launches a counterattack. A nocturnal attack on a competitor warehouse results in no survivors. The stolen commodities are recovered, and a message is sent: Liberty City belongs to the Rossis. Rossi is pleased with Vincent's efforts and invites him farther into the family's inner circle. He is no longer merely an enforcer. He is a reliable asset, a man with potential. With power come foes. The rival syndicate, led by the elusive Victor Navarro, takes the attack seriously. Retaliation is quick. Vincent's safe home is bombed, and Dario barely escapes with his life. The streets speak of battle, and Vincent is at the center of it. He rallies his few loyal troops and fights back, sparking a citywide feud that turns Liberty streets into a battleground. As bodies pile up, cops tighten their grasp. Corrupt officials who previously turned a blind eye are now demanding greater payments. Vincent's resources are stretched thin. During the tumult, he is approached by an unlikely ally, Isabella Morales, a high-level
That's very
fixer with
kind.
connections beyond Liberty's borders. She gives Vincent an option, an opportunity to go beyond Rossi's shadow. But it comes with a cost. Devotion is transitory, and betrayal is unavoidable. Vincent accepts Isabella's requirements, unaware that he is entering into a much more perilous situation than the Rossi-Navarro fight. Using her resources, he removes Navarro, seizing control of his businesses. The city is his to take. Rossi becomes concerned as he notices Vincent's growing influence. Power shifts, and alliances dissolve. The final act is set in motion. The inevitable betrayal occurs on a stormy night. Vincent is summoned to a private meeting with Rossi, one final task, one last test of allegiance. But when Vincent enters the dimly illuminated warehouse, he discovers too late that he is the target. The trap is set. Rossi never meant to share power. A dozen guns are directed at Vincent, and Dario, his most loyal buddy, stands among them, his face filled with sadness. However, Vincent did not achieve this level of success without preparation. Hidden snipers, last-minute bribes, and sheer will make the ambush chaotic. The warehouse bursts in gunfire, and Rossi falls, reigning within the old order. Vincent, the uncontested monarch of Liberty's underworld, has emerged victorious, but at what cost? The trust is gone. The city is his, but he travels the streets alone, constantly looking over his shoulder. The growth and collapse of a criminal empire is written in blood, not riches. And in Liberty City, there is always another Vincent Kane lurking in the shadows, eager to take the throne. But power is cyclical. With Rossi gone, new threats arise. The Russian mob, the Vice City cartel, and even rogue elements within his own ranks all want a piece of Vincent's kingdom. His once solid relationships are fraying.